welcome to the stage our adaptation of Chrysanthemum. The day she was born was the happiest day in her parents' lives.
She's perfect,
said her mother.
She's absolutely perfect,
said her father. Her mother said,
her name must be everything she is.
Her father said,
her name must be absolutely perfect.
And it was.
Chrysanthemum.
Her parents named her Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum grew and grew and grew. And when she was old enough to appreciate it, Chrysanthemum loved her name. She loved the way it sounded when her mother woke her up.
Wake up, Chrysanthemum.
She loved the way it sounded when her father called her for dinner.
Chrysanthemum, time for dinner.
And she loved the way it sounded when she whispered it to herself in the bathroom mirror.
Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum, Chrysanthemum.
Chrysanthemum thought her name was absolutely perfect. And then she started school. On the first day of school, Chrysanthemum wore her sunniest dress and her brightest smile. She waved goodbye to her parents.
Bye, Chrysanthemum.
And she ran all the way to the school, shouting,
Hooray! Hooray! School!
But when she got to school and everyone took their seats, her teacher, Mrs. Chudd, took roll call.
Joe, here. Rita, here. Pat, here. Samantha, here. Sue, here. Joe, here. Chrysanthemum, here.
Everyone laughed upon hearing Chrysanthemum's name. They jumped up and said,
Your name is so long. It's on her name tag.
Victoria.
I'm named after my grandmother. She's named after a flower.
Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was.
Absolutely dreadful.
The rest of the day was not much better. Mrs. Chudd said,
Nap time.
all of the children lay down on their mats for nap time. But soon, Victoria and Samantha jumped up from their mats and said,
Mrs. Chudd. Chrysanthemum's name is spelled with 13 letters. That's exactly half of the entire alphabet. Thank you for sharing that with us, ladies. Now put your heads down.
The bell rang. Everyone rushed to line up for the door. When they got in line, everyone pointed at Chrysanthemum and said,
If I had a name like yours, I'd change it. I wish I could.
said Chrysanthemum miserably. All of the other students ran home. Chrysanthemum walked home slowly. When she arrived at home, her parents were outside to greet her. They said,
Welcome home, Chrysanthemum. Welcome home. School is no place for me. My name is too long, scarcely fits on my name tag, and I'm named after a flower.
her mother said.
Oh, Pish, your name is beautiful. After all, your name's absolutely perfect.
Chrysanthemum felt much better after her favorite dinner
Macaroni and cheese and ketchup.
and an evening filled with lots of hugs and a rousing game of.
Hard cheesy.
That night, after her parents tucked her into bed, Chrysanthemum dreamed that her name was Jane. Just Jane. It was a very pleasant dream. The next morning, Chrysanthemum wore her most comfortable jumper. She walked to school as slowly as she could, and as she walked, she dragged her feet in the dirt. And as she dragged them, she spelled,
Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum.
When she got to school, all of the children were out on the playground. They pointed and laughed at her. Victoria said,
She even looks like a flower. Let's pick her. Let's smell her.
Chrysanthemum wilted. She did not think her name was absolutely perfect. She thought it was.
Absolutely dreadful.
The rest of the day was not much better. Mrs. Chud said,
Nap time.
all of the children lay down to take a nap. But as soon as they were laying down, Victoria and Samantha jumped up from their mats and said,
Mrs. Chud. Chrysanthemum is a flower. It lives in a garden with worms and other dirty things. Ew! Thank you for sharing that with us, ladies. Now put your head down.
The bell rang. Everyone lined up to go home. When everyone was in line, they pointed at Chrysanthemum and said,
I just cannot believe your name. Neither can I.
said Chrysanthemum miserably. All of the other children ran home from school. Chrysanthemum walked home slowly. When she got home, her parents were outside to greet her. They said,
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Chrysanthemum said,
School is no place for me. They said it even looked like a flower. They pretended to particularly smell me.
her mother said,
Oh, pish. They're just jealous.
and her father said,
Who wouldn't be jealous of a name like yours?
after all,
It's absolutely perfect.
Chrysanthemum felt a trifle better after her favorite dessert
Confetti cake sprinkles on the icing.
and another evening filled with lots of hugs and another rousing game of.
Cheesy.
That night, after her parents tucked her into bed,
Good night,
Chrysanthemum dreamed she really was a chrysanthemum. She sprouted leaves and petals. In her dream, Victoria and all of the others picked and plucked and picked and plucked and picked and plucked all of her leaves and petals one by one until there was nothing left but a scrawny stem.
Ah!
It was the worst nightmare of Chrysanthemum's life. That day, she wore her outfit with 7 pockets. She loaded those pockets with her most prized possessions and good luck charms.
A spinny. Lucky rock. Lucky marble. Lucky tooth of the future I left behind. Lucky piece of old bread.
Lucky piece of moldy bread. Okay. Chrysanthemum took the longest route possible to school. She stopped and stared at every flower along the way.
Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum.
The flowers seemed to say. That day, when all of the children entered class and sat down, Mrs. Chud had an important announcement.
Class, I'd like you to meet our new music teacher, Mrs. Twinkle. Hi, class.
Her voice was like something out of a dream, as was everything else about her. The students were speechless. They thought Mrs. Twinkle was an indescribable wonder. They went out of their way to make a nice impression.
That's enough, students.
Mrs. Twinkle led the students in scales. Then she assigned roles for the class musicale.
Victoria, you'll read it to keep Aries clean. That you'll read the Butterfly Princess.
Joe,
You'll read the All-in Christine Message.
she also explained that Pat would be a rose, Samantha would be a garden fairy, Sue would be the butterfly, and then she finally said,
You'll read the daisy. Chrysanthemum, the daisy. Chrysanthemum, the daisy.
absolutely perfect. She thought it was.
Absolutely dreadful.
Mrs. Twinkle asked,
What's so humorous?
Chrysanthemum.
was the answer. Joe said,
Her name is so long.
It scarcely fits on her name tag.
I'm named after my grandmother. She's named after a flower.
Mrs. Twinkle explained.
My name's long.
Everyone jumped up and said,
It is?
Yes. My name will barely fit on my name tag.
It would?
Yes. And I'm named after a flower too.
You are?
Yes.
my name,
My name is
Del,
Dalphidian Twinkle.
and
And if I have a baby girl, I'm gonna name it Chrysanthemum because I think it's a perfect name.
Chrysanthemum could scarcely believe her ears. She blushed. She beamed. She bloomed. Joe, Rita, Victoria, and all of the others looked at Chrysanthemum longingly. They all wanted flower names too.
Call me
Marigold!
Marigold!
Chrysanthemum did not think her name was absolutely perfect.
I knew it.
Overall, the class musicale was a huge success. Chrysanthemum was absolutely perfect as the daisy. Victoria made the only mistake. She completely forgot all of her lines as the dainty fairy queen.
I just had it.
Eventually, Mrs. Twinkle did have a healthy baby girl. And of course, she named her
Chrysanthemum!